Are you ready for this hot take? No, your campaign structure is not causing your ads to be unprofitable. It's your creatives. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the creatives we see doing best for e-commerce Facebook ads in 2025. We work with over 400 e-commerce brands in our coaching programs, and we see time and time again that using the wrong creative causes brands to waste countless dollars on advertising. The advertising landscape changes pretty quickly, and what worked 12 months ago probably won't work today, and what works today probably won't work in 12 months. The reason I bring this up is because often people think that if they use creatives that worked for them in the past, they should work now, but it doesn't work that way. Before we get into what creatives work best in 2025, I want to talk about what creatives have worked in the past. Because no, you're not crazy. That UGC video did work really well for you in the past, and no, it's probably not going to work well for you today. So starting back in 2021, we saw high production videos, almost like TV ads, doing really well. Think like Dr. Squatch style ads. Then in 2022, we saw fake ads doing well. This could be ads made in Microsoft Paint, maybe memes, or just clickbaity ads that people thought were really clever. And then they landed on your page and they said, wow, that brand is clever, and bought from you. Then 2023 was the UGC age. With the rise of TikTok ads and TikTok Shop, people were jumping all over this. UGC agencies popped up and influencers were trying to get their foot in the door before it closed. And then about 6 months ago, the door closed and launched us into the Addie ad era. And we've seen since September of 2024, Addie ads have done the best in a majority of the ad accounts that we work in. Now, before I explain what an Addie ad is, I want to preface with just one thing. Just because Addie ads are what we see doing best doesn't mean that it is 100% proven to work in your ad account. We like to say every ad account is a living, breathing organism, and what works in one ad account may not work in another. So if you have a UGC video that's crushing it for you, or maybe you have high production videos that are working, don't kill them. It may still be worth testing a new creative type in a different campaign, but unfortunately, advertising is not a copy-paste activity. All right, so what is an Addie ad? Well, simply, it's an ad that screams in your customer's face, "This is an ad!" These are typically branded graphics that show the product, highlight its features, and clearly explain to a customer why they should buy it. Ultimately, this ad does a majority of the selling of the product. So by the time they land on your site, they already know what the product is and why they should buy it. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, how do you make sure that the messaging on these ads are good? And then secondly, designing these ads are kind of difficult, so how do I do this if I'm not a designer? Well, I'll explain those in just a bit, but real quick, if you've made it this far into the video, I wanna ask you to consider subscribing. I know most people skip this part, but YouTube tells us that 76.8% of you aren't subscribed. It would mean a lot to us if you did subscribe, and here's the thing. If you do subscribe, we will hold up our end of the deal to keep making content like this that you love. So how do you ensure your messaging is actually good on an ad? And how do you design these ads if you're not a designer? Well, let's talk about the messaging first. Ultimately, make sure your ad is calling out genuinely unique things about your product. Often, people will put things like saves you time or high quality materials or made in the USA. And as great as those are not actual reasons that people buy products. Those are all secondary things that people want to know, but don't make a buying decision on. So the things you call out on your ad should answer the questions, what is the product? Who is it for? And why should I buy yours versus a competitor? And I like to use what I call the Google gut check when coming up with answers for this. If you can Google something you're putting on your ad, then it probably isn't unique enough. So I'd really encourage you to really think hard about what this could be for your brand or product. And lastly, for those of you that are not a designer, which is probably most of us, how do you design all of these pretty graphical ads? Well, obviously you could design from scratch in Canva or hire someone on Fiverr, but it would probably be easier if you had, say, 150 plus Canva templates for really cheap, maybe some that were designed specifically for e-commerce brands, and wait a minute, we already have this. If you're wanting to test some Addie ads for your brand and have, I'm sorry that I did that, and have zero designing bones in your body, we have 150 plus e-commerce Canva templates that you can grab just for $47. There's a link in the description for you to check that out. And you know what? Because I did that really stupid thing, if you use code AddieAd at checkout, we'll give you 20% off just as an apology. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something and maybe you'll go and try some Addie ads for your brand. I'm curious though, drop in the comments, what style of ad that I mentioned before was your favorite? Was it like UGC, maybe high production videos? I wanna know. While you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified when we post new videos.